They they She entered like dawn on a quiet storm.
If I see, say during the civil rights movement, there were women who would rush out to the schoolyards when they were trying to integrate schools, and they would push over the school buses that were bringing black children to these schools, push them over and set them afire. And when I saw that, I was wondering whether I could ever get a group of black women under any circumstances, from any walk of life, to hurt some white children, to set a bus on fire full of white children for any reason. Prostitutes, drug addicts, ministers, teachers, black women of any level. Could I call them all together and say, we have got to burn these white children? And I didn't believe I could ever find that. So I thought, those white mothers, they were not just white women, they had actually had children. They knew what that was like. But they could do that to those children. They could spit at a child. So I thought, that is the most degrading life I could imagine, of being an adult who could do that. If I were those white people, the absence of that shame was so profound that the real victim was not those children. It was those women who had given up everything, their motherhood, their womanhood, their citizenship, everything, to do that nasty thing. Now that is a true victim of history.
No need, she stands alone, a crown unseen but understood, grace in her step and power in her blood. She carries worlds inside her chest, love and labor, prayer and rest. A mother's fire, a scholar's mind, gentle hands, unbreakable spine. They walk before her, names in the dust, their dreams awake in her breath, in her trust.
Cruelty does not need universal approval to survive. It only needs enough people willing to look away. Silence, when faced with dehumanization, is not neutrality. It is permission. And history is unforgiving to societies that mistook comfort for conscience. That is not poetry. It is diagnosis. When the 47th President of the United States circulated an image depicting President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama as apes, we are not dealing with a lapse in taste. We are confronting the deliberate resurrection of one of the most historically violent racial tropes in Western civilization. The comparison of Black people to primates was not accidental in the 19th century. It was engineered, printed in textbooks, sketched in scientific journals, paraded in colonial cartoons, to argue that Black people were less evolved, less human, less deserving of dignity and rights. It was propaganda with purpose. So when the imagery resurfaces in modern politics. It is not edgy humor, it is inheritance. And what matters most is not the man who posts it, it is the millions who do not recoil. Now let's go back 6 years earlier, May 2019. British broadcaster Danny Baker tweeted an image of a chimpanzee dressed in clothes held by two well-dressed couple, and the caption read, "Royal baby leaves hospital," referring to Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor, Prince Archie of Sussex. You heard that right. The newborn son of Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex, herself a biracial woman. There was nothing subtle about the implication. Archie was the first mixed race child born into a senior line of the modern British monarchy, as far as we know. The image drew directly from a long tradition of depicting people of African descent as simian. The BBC fired Baker, citing a serious error of judgment. Well, he apologized. He called it a stupid, unthinking gag. Okay. He insisted it was about class, about royals and circus imagery, not race. Of course not. It wasn't about race at all. The same way how Jeremy, you know who, said those descriptive, awful things that then was published in the Sun newspapers in the UK about Meghan Sussex and what should be done to her. Wasn't about race at all. He insisted it was about class, right? It's about class, not race. He claimed he had not considered the racial implications at all. I don't know if he thinks British people are stupid or if he thinks we are stupid. You see, to work in British media and not recognize the racial charge of that image is not naivete. It is a failure of moral literacy, to say the least. But here is an uncomfortable truth. Ignorance is not an alibi when the history is this well documented. But here is something that happened. Yet the public conversation did not dwell on the harm, it dwelled on whether he meant it, whether he was treated too harshly, whether we were being too sensitive. Hey, what do you say? I've worked with him before. I mean, I know the old chap. I mean, he's got a history, you know, of having these very funny, funny. I mean, come on, it was rather funny, you know. Where there's these chimpanzees and monkeys and apes and stuff with human beings, you know, it's rather funny. I tell you, I get a really, really, really chuckle and a giggle off of it. And we know his sense of humour. We know his sense of humour. He doesn't mean any of that thing they're accusing him of. I mean, Danny, a racist. Not at all. Not at all. In my humble opinion, I think that the BBC, I mean, the BBC is going under, to be quite honest. It's just a disservice that they've done to all of us, to all of us, to deprive us of such humor. Such humor. I mean, he's fantastic. Have you seen his stuff that he did? Hmm. That is how dehumanization survives. Not through open endorsement, but through procedural doubt. Now, the same imagery resurfaces at the highest political level in the United States of America. Again, the debate turns not on the act, but on intent. I mean, some people were up in arms, some, but the whole debate turned into, well, did he really mean that? The tone, on whether outrage was being too excessive. Oh, he didn't really. I mean, he just got a message, and he what he did was he retweeted the message. I mean, that stuff showed up at the end of it. I mean, how was he supposed to know that stuff was at the end? He didn't know that stuff was in the end. He didn't. I mean, how could he? I mean, actually, sorry, he didn't post that. He didn't. No, 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 no. Someone took his someone posted it. Wasn't him. No, it wasn't him. Wasn't him. You see, if we didn't have history, background, actions that this man took, his own beliefs that comes out of his own mouth, then perhaps maybe we could still be debating, as some people are still debating whether Danny Baker meant what he tweeted or not. But that's not the case, really. And this is where the indictment widens, right? Because cruelty is rarely sustained by unanimous hatred. It isn't. It is sustained by selective discomfort. And I know that word doesn't seem like it's that important, but it is. The discomfort. I don't know if any one of you saw. There was a writer, I think it was, on one of these shows, and he was traveling on a train, and whether or not he had he's in his seat, whether or not he has his feet um up one way or another, or he took his shoes off, that is not what matters. What matters is that the white older woman in front of him or on the other side felt discomfort, and she ordered him to sit properly, or to put his shoes back on, or to move his feet, or whatever it was that she thought brought her discomfort. He said, "No, I'm not doing anything to you. I'm just traveling on the train, going my merry way. No one is sitting next to me. You're not sitting next to me. I'm here, whether I have my shoes off or my feet up, and it's not causing, like, no. Why should I? I paid my ticket. So did you. So, no." So her discomfort then went to the security or the conductor, whatever, and they literally, to appease the discomfort of this older white woman, they dragged him off the train. She showed him, didn't she? She showed him that her discomfort, and because he didn't obey, she showed him the power that her whiteness still possessed. They dragged him off the train. You know, this sort of cruelty, as I said, is sustained by that discomfort, by people who say, I didn't like it, but he was just joking, though. Like, you know how he is. Listen, there's bigger issues right now than some stupid picture, okay? There's bigger issues. Well, it's not worth the fight. We have bigger things to fight about. I mean, come on. This is how moral erosion works, not through dramatic collapse, but through incremental tolerance. Incremental tolerance. You know, I am amazed, shocked, and I will always be shocked at the cruelty of human beings and how easy and quick it is for them to turn that switch on and become monsters. When I've watched these border agents or whatever they're called, I know what they're called, I just don't feel like saying it. Drag pregnant women out of their cars and drag them while the woman is screaming, I'm pregnant, and obviously she is. When a man goes to defend and rescue a woman that was just shoved and pushed and pepper sprayed, and he goes in front of her to protect her from being beaten, he is tackled, pepper sprayed, unarmed, and then shot 10 times in the back. Cruelty, just like that. When a mother of two driving her minivan says to the agent person and just says, listen, man, it's okay. I'm just gonna back up, Just gonna go back up. Like, take it easy, man. You have a good day. And he fires 3 shots into her head. And as he walks away, he calls her a effing bitch. The hatred, no remorse, nothing. I've seen them use little children. They have them in handcuffs. And only God Almighty knows what these demons are doing to those little kids. Because there's zero accountability of anything. So, why? Why am I saying this? Because the minute we stop being shocked by it, the minute we look away, I'm not saying you need to stare at this all the time. I'm saying the minute we stop feeling how wrong, how disgusting it is, then we have lost. Because the intention with what they're doing is exactly that. The intention is to make sure that it's repeated, it is consistently shown on television, on social networks, social media, and we become desensitized. It no longer shocks us. Oh, another pregnant woman being dragged on the streets. Oh, another person got shot. Oh, well.
just two beautiful lost causes, two hopeless dreamers who refuse to be cured, two wild hearts the world never could diagnose, still believing in something pure. Maybe we're twin sparks drifting through midnight, brief flashes that refuse to fade. Every time the dark tries to claim us, somehow we find our way. Maybe the world never tried to see what our love truly is, the quiet truth inside our ribs. Let them stretch oceans wide between us, let the storms rise, let the waves roar. It doesn't matter where the wind takes us, my compass is still your shore. You are the light I follow through every uncertain night. No distance can undo us. We are half-hidden light. Ooh, half-hidden light. I don't love you like something obvious, not like a jewel that demands to be seen, not like a bouquet shouting its colors, bright and loud and green. I love you like the space between heartbeats, like secrets only silence can hold, like roots beneath the surface, stronger than what shows.
I am the rogue who steals only your kisses, the wanderer who sees your heart.
Even when the horizon breaks us apart, let them stretch oceans wide between us, let the storms rise, let the waves roar. It doesn't matter where the wind takes us, my compass is still your shore. You are the light I follow through every uncertain night. No distance can undo us. We are half-hidden light. Oh, half-hidden light. Half-hidden light.
I love you like a plant that never blossoms, yet carries flowers folded inside.
Because of you, an earthy sweetness rises from the ground of my life. Because of you, something ancient awakens, something steady and bright.
Not loud, not blazing,
Just endless and right. Let them stretch oceans wide between us, let the storms rise, let the waves roar. It doesn't matter where the world moves, my heart is forever yours. You are the light I follow through every uncertain night. No shadow can divide us. We are half-hidden light. Ooh, half-hidden light.
In the last couple of days, let me share something personal, I guess. I've been, like many Canadians, just this heavy sort of weight. I mean, everything happening in the world, really. Now, if I said before, and I said it yesterday, you know, call me sensitive or whatever, it's fine. I'm okay with it. It's just who I am and who I'll always be. But I've started to manage. This is a while back. Started to manage how much news I watch and just make sure I'm still informed. But I don't do as I used to before because I was a news junkie, news addict, I would say. And my body, my mind, myself being tend to absorb all this stuff. It kind of goes into my skin, I think, I guess. And I start to feel the weight of it all. We here in Canada had a school shooting. 9 people lost their lives. And it has honestly shocked the country. Many people have been, I've been affected, many people. Because we're so used to when we hear things like that, it's not here, it's not in our backyard, it's not here. So when it happens, it really shocks us. Now the conversation that is happening in the United States on TikTok and other social media when Canadians are posting how upset they are and how they're grieving this event. The response from many is number one, you see, gun control doesn't work. I honestly don't get the whole fascination with guns and the sort of, it's almost sexual for these people. But that's not true. Gun control does work. There's gun control in Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Canada. In 10 years plus, we have not have any such thing as a mass shooting in one of our schools. 10 plus years. That is why it's shocking to us. We can't say the same for our friends in the US. Right? And then when we express mourning, sadness for these 9 lives that were taken, we're told, what's the big deal? Like, talk to us when you have like 50, 100. And that is where that brings me to what, the arch and comment here I'm trying to make. When you are so desynthesized from that pain, from the pain of a father, a mother, a grandparent, a family member losing a child. I knew when in Sandy Hook, white children, white majority little children were shot and killed and nothing happened. I said, there's no turning back. That's just the culture. When President Barack Obama, and I mean, that man made me cry. That man made me cry when he said the one thing he think he failed at. It is just, that is their intention. So I am extremely happy. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, that we are still shocked. We are still moved. We're still alarmed by it. We still are. Politics stood silent for once in our country. Our prime minister and the leader of the opposition, two people that do not, as far as we know, like each other, do not get along, left politics away. They stood arm in arm in prayer. No one came out to have a low shot at the other one or made some comment about gun control or you know, it's time for us to just pray. But this is what we have learned, though, because when these things happen, we want to learn how to avoid these things. We learned that there was enormous amount of mental health issues with the particular shooter. Documented. The police was called many times at their home. This person was self-harming also. So those are things that we know. And now, as a society, we, our government, will go now and look at how or what measures needs to be placed to avoid this. So see, that is the aim of what happens. That is the aim. The aim is for us to not care. I say this all the time. I say, be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your loved ones. Be kind to that stranger crossing your path. I say it because I mean it. Because you never know that your kindness, your kind word can change the mind, the trajectory of what someone might be thinking of doing. But you see, as Toni Morrison said, those women that were shaking those buses and lighting them on fire with little black kids in them, they had lost their humanity. They had lost it. Because they weren't just women, as she said. Those were women that were mothers. And if they can look at a child in the eye and do that, oh, Lord Jesus. If you can spit at a child as they're walking down to head into the school, that is when you've lost all of your morality, all of your humanity. As Toni Morrison said, that nastiness. That nastiness. And that man, who on his social media put that nastiness, has no morality, has no humanity. None. I mean, when a mother who could look at a child and attempt to burn that child because of the skin color of that child, they have surrendered everything. Their motherhood, their essence, their everything. That surrender is what we are witnessing again. Not mobs at buses, not fire in the streets, but the steady normalization of imagery that strips humanity from black figures, brown figures, and in this case, a former president of the United States of America, and even a newborn infant. and the reflex to protect the predator from discomfort rather than protect the target from dehumanization tells you everything. Tells you everything. The method, you see, has evolved. The mechanisms does not. There is a reason these images persist. Dehumanization is powerful. And it's power shorthand, you see. If you can reduce someone to an animal, you reduce the moral cost of mistreating them. They're animals. Over and over, we heard that when bombs were being dropped on mothers, infant, babies, hospitals. They're not people, they're animals. When you are taught from very little in schools that these people over on that side of the fence are animals, then you don't have any issues pointing a gun at little kids and shooting them for sport. You just don't. If you can make degradation funny, you make cruelty social. That is why some jokes are not funny, my friends. If you can frame it as satire, oh, I always do these things. I always have these little, humans with the monkeys and stuff and chimpanzees. It's rather hilarious, isn't it? Then you make accountability look humorless. And if enough people are willing to look away, you make it sustainable. That is the real story. Not that one broadcaster got fired in the UK. Not that one president posted something grotesque. But that in both countries, Britain and the United States, a significant portion of society reflexively just shift the conversation away from the harm and towards the comfort of the offender. The reflex is disdain. Societies are not ultimately judged by the existence of racist in their midst. They are judged by how many people decided that they were going to tolerate racism if it serves their tribe. That's not my problem. Not my problem. You see, by how many people confuse loyalty with morality. I'm loyal to my party. I'm loyal to my movement. People mistake exhaustion for neutrality. And I understand exhaustion. Trust me, I get it. But silence is not passive. Silence is not passive. It is instructional. Your silence is saying something. When the King of the United Kingdom, the King of Canada, when the King, back then, the heir to the throne, the grandfather, said nothing, said absolutely nothing at a commoner comparing his first mixed race grandchild to a chimpanzee, and he said nothing. His silence was not passive. His silence spoke volumes very loudly and very clear. You see, children absorb it. Playgrounds echo it. Public discourse hardens around it. So then it becomes completely okay for Jeremy you know whom to write a column where he depicts a woman, a royal woman, in the royal family, a duchess, depicts her with no clothing on, paraded across the streets of the United Kingdom, and manure to be thrown at her. Oh, yes, there were some people who complained. Some people complained. Some people complained. What happened to the rest? They have already normalized it. Because when the king said nothing about his grandchild being compared to a chimpanzee, it spoke volumes. So then how should we treat the mother? When adults debate whether something is really racist, children learn that racism is negotiable. And once humanity becomes negotiable, everything else follows. Everything else.
First of all, I think it's important to recognize that the majority of the American people find this behavior deeply troubling. It is true that it gets attention. It's true that it's a distraction. But, as I'm traveling around the country, as you're traveling around the country, you meet people. They still believe in decency, courtesy, kindness, and there's this sort of clown show that's happening in social media and on television, and what is true is that there doesn't seem to be any shame about this among people who used to feel like you had to have some sort of decorum and a sense of propriety and respect for the office, right? So that's been lost. But the reason I point out that I don't think the majority of the American people approve of this is because ultimately the answer is going to come from the American people. And we just saw this in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. It is important for us to recognize the unprecedented nature of what ICE was doing in Minneapolis, St. Paul, the way that federal agents, ICE agents, were being deployed without any clear guidelines, training, pulling people off, out of their homes, using 5-year-olds to try to
bait their parents.
Yeah. All the stuff that we saw, tear gassing crowds simply who were standing there, not breaking any laws. So the rogue behavior of agents of the federal government is deeply concerning and dangerous. But we should take a moment to appreciate the extraordinary outpouring of organizing, community building, decency, neighbors buying groceries for folks, accompanying children to school, teachers who were standing up for their kids. not just randomly, but in a systematic, organized way.
I remember when the light was young, street lights on our favorite song. Your hand found right, no need to speak. The love was strong and time was slow and sweet. Dancing close on a wooden floor, heartbeat sinking, wanting more. Every look you gave to me felt like a promise meant to be. And the world felt heavy, you pulled me near, said, baby, don't worry, I'm right here. In your eyes I found my home. A love so real, it's always gone as above. In your eyes, that's when our heart still stays. Through the tears, through the smiles, through all our yesterdays, 'cause I'm in your eyes. I see the truth, the light. Even when the music fades, your love still holds me tight. Morning sun to lace and shade, coffee cooling, prayers delayed, just to sit and watch you breathe. Simple love was all we need. Life kept moving, seasons changed, but what we had remained the same. Every road led back to you, every dream somehow came true. They say love can slip away, our eyes learn how to stay. Every star, every sign, only made us testify. It's either in your eyes, that's where my heart belongs. Through the siren, through the noise, through all the right and wrongs, it's either in your eyes. Our sweet forever start. One slowness, one last glance, etched inside my heart. If time ever tries to steal our song,
I don't know about you, but how great was that? How great was that? Now, sorry, I didn't have the time to edit or make it look nicer or any of that. I just saw one uh, on TikTok, and I went, "Holy cow! They're at the game! They're at the game!" So I started just quickly trying to record, trying to look at other Instagram and so on to just try and capture and gather as much video and imagery that I could so that I can present it to you folks. I hope you enjoyed it. And that was just so great. I love seeing them out and about and enjoying themselves and having a good time. And they were right next to Queen Latifah. So, Duchess, meet the Queen. Queen, meet the Duchess. Also a princess. That'd be great. Can you imagine when they meet each other and it's like, oh, Queen Latifah. Oh, Duchess Meghan. That'd be great. The Obamas were there also, so I don't know if there was any video of them saying hi to each other or anything like that. I didn't get, or I didn't see anything with that video. But that's it, folks. That's it. I'm happy that we're able to get this sort of last minute footage and bring it to you folks. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I was debating whether to still do it or not, because I'd done this like a week or so ago, and I just did not. It wasn't finished, but most of it was done. And when I was thinking yesterday to include this in what I presented yesterday, and I thought, nah, let's not do that. So today, what I did when I went over it, I went, I think I want to update a couple of things, and I want to rewrite some other stuff. So I did, and there it goes. And I hope it's educational, entertaining, and that we have a better and greater understanding. At the same time, that we are able to identify things when we know that we're in the midst of whatever situation. So thank you once again to all the new subscribers or people who recently subscribed. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. If you're new around here, you just discovered the podcast, please subscribe. Just do it, okay? It's free. It helps us. I don't know how, but it does. So do subscribe. And do all the other things, everyone, that the algorithm insists that we do. So like, comment, share, do a little dance, jump up and down, and all of that. Okay? It completely and totally helps, I think. So thank you. Again, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. To those that have been here from the beginning, the middle, whenever you joined, thank you so very much. And for all of you here in the cloud or wherever you are, thank you. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me. Much appreciated. I love you all. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, okay? Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your loved ones. And to that stranger crossing your path, be kind to them also, all right? Until we speak again, ciao, ciao. Mwah.
She enters like dawn on quiet stone. No noise, no need, she stands alone. A crown unseen but understood, grace in her step and power in her blood. She carries worlds inside her chest, love and labor, prayer and rest. A mother's fire, a scholar's mind, gentle hands, unbreakable spine. They walk before her, names in the dust, their dreams awake in her breath, in her trust.